Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite October 30th, 2024 review. My thoughts on AEW Dynamite. It seemed like a good show until after the AEW Tag Team title match. After that, the whole fucking show went straight down the fucking toilet. I thought the remaining, I'd say about 45 minutes to the show was absolute trash. The hour and 15 minutes we got was pretty good, but the remaining time frame of what we had left, you could have, wiped your hands clean and been done for the night for AEW Dynamite. Honestly, this was an okay show, I guess you could say, but at the same time, it it fell flat on its face at the end. It didn't hold the same momentum. They had this whole situation with the. I actually do False Count Anywhere. It's a website where you're asked questions for each show that happens during the week. That's live televised shows, and you answer the questions and compete against other people, and you get series of points for questions you get correct. The ones you get wrong, you don't get those points, and you have standings to is how you're competing against others to win emoji championships on that website. So it's kind of a little fun, thing to do. Lately, I have been really bad at it. This episode, I was absolutely terrible. This match should have the tag team title match should have been the main event, hands down. They could have gone ahead, showed us the little segment that they showed um later on in the night, like in a pre-taped segment, and had the young bucks kind of walk out on AEW and say they're just working from home. This is too chaotic and nuts. Not I don't quite understand how that is. I mean, every time they're there, they're not getting involved. They're not even being touched by John Moxley's group. They're simply just standing by and watching it all happen, yet nothing happens to them. So why are they worried about it? The more chaos, the better the show is, in my personal opinion, because outside of that, they ain't got much to, you know, be happy about or excited for. To be quite frank with you, I think this show is absolutely fucking terrible. The worst show out of all pro wrestling shows. I think fucking TNA Impact Wrestling is better than this trash. And I've watched a couple of their episodes leading up to for Bound for Glory. Unfortunately, I do have other things I'm interested in doing, and it's not always watching pro wrestling. I have been winning cash on Hard Rock Bet and been betting on basketball, and I'm betting on UFC, which is the only thing closest to WWE type shit for me to actually bet on. And I've been earning some really good amounts of money and been doing very well with that. Just last night, I ended up doing a 3-leg parlay of alternative points on basketball, and all three players hit those points that I needed them to hit, and I walked away with about $56, I think. So yeah, I've been really killing it the last few days this week. Haven't suffered a loss yet, thank God. But that's where my focus has been. Unfortunately, pro wrestling has not been it for me. I liked Raw last 2 days ago, excuse me, not 2 weeks ago. 2 days ago, I thought Raw was a fairly decent show, but there could have been a little bit more excitement to the show itself. But we are talking about Crown Jewel, and Crown Jewel is truly a fucking shit show. But the card for Crown Jewel this year is not bad. I'd have to say on paper, probably the best Crown Jewel event going out of all the years Crown Jewel has existed. So I got to give Triple H and WWE Creative a lot of kudos for the card they created. I think it should be exciting to watch. I mean, there's a lot of matches on this card, but it should be fun to watch and take in for the next 3 to 3.5 hours on Saturday from 1 to 4 or 4:30, whenever that actually starts, or when it ends. I mean, but on to AEW Dynamite. My attitude about this show, again, it was a fun show somewhat, but still it has a lot of flaws. For one, I was not excited about Bobby Lashley returning, though it is kind of cool to see the Hurt Business back on pro wrestling. Now, my problem with this is I think it should have been in a placement where the AEW tag team title match was taking place, not in the main event. Swerve Strickland and Shelton Benjamin had a good match. Don't get me wrong. Where was the story? I have no fucking idea. The real story for tonight was the AEW tag team title match because of the Private Party. I thought Private Party was going to end up losing this match, and the Young Bucks were going to retain the tag team titles. I don't know where in the hell the Private Party has the right to be tag team champions, but here we are. Was the match exciting? Absolutely. Pay-per-view quality 100%. Why the tag team titles just didn't change hands when they initially fought each other for those tag team titles is beyond me. I have no idea. Makes absolutely no sense to me. But this was a great segment, a great moment for Private Party, but it could have been done on pay-per-view. And I think this was just a giveaway out of desperation to garner ratings. Adam Cole was another situation here tonight that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the work that he put in with Buddy Murphy. These two were hard hitting. I like the sales job by Adam Cole and what he did to make it look like he actually re-injured his ankle once again. So I was impressed with the work that these two did. They shook hands, and then after they shook hands, Malachi Black showed up, and apparently Malachi Black is number 2 opponent for Adam Cole to be able to get to MJF at Full Gear. Okay, whatever. He explains, Adam Cole also explained during the show why he turned on MJF, and he said, let's face facts. He was going to turn on him one way or the other. Either Adam Cole was going to get turned on or Adam Cole was going to have to turn on him. He honestly did not believe that MJF genuinely wanted to be his friend. He think he was using him to keep him close so that that's what I'm thinking. I think based on the scenario, you could say that MJF was using him to keep him close so that MJF didn't have to defend the world championship again to Adam Cole, because Adam Cole came very close of beating him at All In last year in 2023. So I could see that as being the reason for him not, him being friends and acting like he genuinely cared. But he said, look, man, you have a history of turning on people. You turned on Wardlow the first chance you had. Every person that's got involved with you that genuinely wanted to be your friend or an ally to you, you've turned your back on them and stabbed them in the back. So his attitude was, I was going to make him think that I was that foolish to believe that we were friends. And in reality, I wasn't. And we came up with an elaborate scheme to fuck MJF over. The explanation was good, but it was too late. It should have been done initially when they had Adam Cole explain why he's turned babyface, not this, oh, I just hate you. I hate everything about you. I hate your fake hair and placement transplant hair bullshit. It just was too little too late type of situation for Adam Cole to be making this announcement as the reasoning behind why he did what he did. So, me personally, I just it was good explanation, but it was too late of an explanation to make it have any supplement of impact or importance. See, if it was done correctly, it would have been done initially just the way it was supposed to. And unfortunately, that was not the case. First off, Adam Cole said he wanted to do this all on his own. Now he's got his old buddies back with him again. Wardlow's nowhere to be found. I don't know what the deal is with that and why he's not there, because Wardlow is definitely someone that should be there with Adam Cole. But unfortunately, we aren't getting any of that from good old Wardlow. He's like disappeared in the dark alleyways and we can't ever find him ever again. Why that's happening, I have no idea. For all we know, we could see Wardlow in WWE before you know it. Not that I would have a problem with that, because I think Wardlow is an excellent talent, especially for a guy his size and his physical physique. So I could definitely see like Braun Breaker, Wardlow having matches with each other, or even being tag team partners somewhere down the line. In case Braun Breaker, comes into a situation where he's, in no creative booking move or has no way of getting to a world title or mid card championship. So they put him with Wardlow, where Wardlow would actually get his feet wet and work with someone who has a similar type of work style, and have those two just destroy the tag team division overall. So I could see something like that occurring if they wanted to go that route. But we haven't even seen Wardlow in WWE yet, so I'm just fantasy booking here. But yeah, Wardlow's not anywhere to be found, but we have the Undisputed Kingdom. Okay, great. Wonderful. In the meantime, he's doing everything by himself still, and Undisputed Kingdom's in the back catering to him while he's having his ankle looked at. Okay, whatever. John Moxley, he was there. He attacked, and he with his group once again. Orange Cassidy kickstarted the show. Rinse and repeat of the same repetitive shit with these formulaic TV shows that really don't go anywhere for us as fans watching it. Orange Cassidy is claiming to be the new leader. He didn't want to be, but now he has to, especially with the young talent, because he doesn't think this talent knows what they're getting themselves into, and they're in a big danger. I feel as if I wonder. I think Tony Khan watched SmackDown this past week when Triple H said the same thing about Kevin Owens. um, but yeah, I like the fact that Orange Cassidy's getting a world title opportunity, but he's not a legitimate challenger for this championship, honestly. He really isn't. He's not believable. He's not going to give you the idea or belief that he's even got a shot at winning this fucking championship. So why this match is occurring, I have no fucking idea, but here we are, What else? John Moxley made his appearance later on in the show, and he pretty much stated he's not being challenged for the title. He's challenging Orange Cassidy for the belt. Well, he's defending his title against Orange Cassidy and challenging him. As if he actually gives a shit about Orange Cassidy and so forth. Apparently, he has this certain feeling for AEW that he cares about AEW, but yet he's doing all these heel-like things to all these AEW stars. His explanation is real simple, and it's kind of a shoot if you really think about it from all, the fans' perspective, from us, feeling like AEW's become soft, very complacent. Uh, you know, everybody's getting paid a very good paycheck, but being very lazy because of the fact they're getting paid well. They're not, acting the same way they used to that AEW was once in their glory days. AEW is not in the same position they once were. And I explained this years ago. I used to say it. The only reason why AEW was the bigger show was because Vincent McMahon was in control of WWE, and WWE is producing very terrible television shows on a week to week basis all across the board. Uh, NXT was competitive, yes, but they weren't the main roster, and AEW is a main roster. They don't have a developmental system, and if you want to call Ring of Honor the developmental system, okay, fine, but at least they're not on television and nobody fucking hears from them ever. So, NXT is more of a legit thing than people look at it as, because quite frankly, they were producing probably the best television out of the bunch than any other WWE brand. But at the end of the day, it was like watching college football or any college sport for that matter. You had players there for a certain period of time and then they went off to the pros or they went somewhere else. This is the same thing here. NXT is basically college sports, and they're going to be there for a few years. And then after those few years, they're going to move up to the next level, which is the main roster. That's what happened. And that's why NXT was such a difficult thing to actually compare to AEW. They didn't have the same advantage that AEW had. Now AEW is like downright into the dumps, literally only getting about 600 to 700,000 fans on a regular basis. Beforehand, when they were at their peak, they were getting about 900 to a million views a week. So they've really dropped over the last couple of years, and very badly, may I add. So personally, I'm not I'm not really surprised how bad AEW has gotten. So, yeah. But you could go back on my videos. I've even mentioned it. AEW is only fun and exciting because of the fact that WWE with Vince McMahon in power was producing shit shows. So nobody fucking cared about WWE. They cared about AEW. And AEW was putting on better shows. But once WWE started kickstarting it with Paul Levesque and Triple H and his creative team, that's when AEW started to just, they went crashing creatively. I don't know what the fuck it is, but they got to do something soon because creatively they're just dead. Literally dead creatively. There's nothing on this show that screams out holy shit at all to me. Is it unpredictable of the matches? Yeah, I guess, but some of it doesn't make any sense. Like for tonight, one thing I will criticize about tonight's episode was the fact that Willie Udo is being utilized as a martyr to have Orange Cassidy come out and save the day, only to find himself getting his ass kicked by the guy he actually tried to save. And why they were using Willa Yuta and literally was going to stomp his neck in with the chair made absolutely no fucking sense. Outside their insane cult, is how you could call it. That's about the only thing I can explain here as to making any logical sense of what we saw tonight. Willa Yuta being utilized as a martyr. I don't know why they would even do that to their own guy, who even the announcers were confused. They're like, wait, Willa Yuta chose to stay with you guys. What the fuck are you putting his head into a chair and getting ready to crush his fucking larynx? Or break his neck or something? Honestly, it didn't make any sense to me either, outside of, hey, we're just going to try to magically make Orange Cassidy pop out of nowhere so we can kick his ass, making him think that we were going to crush Willa Yuta's larynx, which chances are they probably were going to do that anyway. there wasn't no save. So I don't quite get it. But Jon Moxley's trying to be this guy who cares about Orange Cassidy, wants to get him to a higher level in his career. By all means, I'm okay with it. I know Tony Khan's a huge fan of Orange Cassidy. There's a lot of fans of Orange Cassidy. I'm even one of them. But as a world champion, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't see him as a guy that could really pull off being world champion. Maybe in a few years, if he's at the same level, sure. Am I glad he's getting a world title opportunity? Absolutely. But the thing is I got to be real with myself. This is not going to be a believable match. Nobody's going to expect Orange Cassidy to win, even if you went on betting odds. I guarantee you on Bet Online, we're going to get odds like with Jon Moxley being in the minus 2000s or some shit like that, or some outrageous number where you're not going to even be able to bet on it and win anything back that's reasonable, even though it's very fucking predictable who's going to win the match. But I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. But wrestling, well, I mean, is it a way of testing to see how Orange Cassidy works in a main event level match? Sure. He's already been testing that with the International Championship last year at All Out with Jon Moxley. So, I mean, he did well. He accomplished what they needed to do with him there. So, I mean, they could end up doing he could end up doing the same thing here. But still, at the end of the day, I would think they would want to have a challenger that's a little bit more believable as being a guy that can win the title. And secondly, where the fuck is the damn championship? We don't even see the title on television anymore now that Jon Moxley won the fucking belt. So he doesn't even carry it around for us to. If you just tuned into this, don't know what the fuck's going on, you wouldn't even know that Jon Moxley is the damn world champion. You don't see him wearing the title around his waist. You don't see him having it over his shoulder. Hell, you don't even see him have a fucking bag with the championship in it. You don't even see the title, period. So, like, what the fuck is this? This is very strange. Darby Allin made an appearance tonight. He struck at the Blackpool Combat Club tonight. So kudos to him. He's a guy I honestly could see beating Jon Moxley for the world championship and then losing it to Hangman Page later on in the future. That's what I would do. That's what I would book, but that's just me. What else happened on this fucking pathetic show? Let me take a look here. I've just been kind of rambling, but honestly, there's not much to talk about. I mean, like, literally, they had this Halloween theme, like, who gives a fuck type of vibe, like, who cares? We also had hold on. Hangman Page, he was also talking about his situation with Jay White that I liked. There's going to be no redemption. That's what he thinks Jay White's going after, is redemption for what happened to him during the Owen Hart tournament when he beat him and injured his leg. But honestly, that's it matters to Hangman Page's wins and losses, and what he does is not going to be what he's expecting him to do. Basically, he expects Jay White to attack his ankle because it was injured during their match at the Wrestle Dream event. And in this rematch, he is going to do other things that are going to be unexpected from Hangman Page's side of things. So it should be a good match. I think Hangman Page will get his revenge, revenge his loss from Wrestle Dream and get the victory over Jay White here, to have him ahead in this 3-series type matchup. Apparently, Hangman Page has won 4 matches out of 5, so it's 4-1. I don't think Hangman Page is suffering another L here. I would hate to think that. I think that was just because Jay White had his debut back for a major match and they wanted to give him some kind of momentum and make this rivalry a little bit meaningful. Him suffering a loss and another loss kind of makes it unmeaningful altogether. So yeah, I think that Hangman Page is going to end up winning this match. It could lead to a third match at World's End in a super stipulated matchup, maybe an I Quit match, maybe a last man standing match, some sort of shit like that. That might be the case. Who knows? Um, Camille had a match with Chris Statlander, which I barely fucking paid attention to. Didn't give two flying shits, honestly. Let me go to that. Let me see here. It was Camille and Chris Statlander. Daniel Garcia also is on the show. He kind of almost looked like he was gonna put fucking Jack Perry through the wall, and he wants that TNT championship really bad. But Camille ends up winning or losing the match to Chris Statlander by pinfall. Then after the match, Sasha Banks or Mercedes Monet, excuse me. I like Sasha Banks better than Mercedes Monet. This level of Mercedes Monet compared to her character in WWE, Sasha Banks. Mercedes Monet in WWE seemed to care a lot more about the women's division, wanting to make it better and elevating it to another level than what it was at. This Mercedes Monet here in AEW, she's just coasting. She doesn't care about the women's division. She cares about collecting a paycheck, and that's what she's doing at this point in her career. I think WWE put a sour taste in her mouth, I would say, and it's left her with the idea of fuck worrying about elevating pro wrestling. I'm just going to elevate my paycheck. And that's pretty much it. Do I blame her so much on that? Not really, but at the same time, like you claimed that you cared about elevating pro wrestling a lot when you were in WWE. You're in a promotion that cares about giving people creative freedom and allowing them to be themselves and not being so micromanaged. And now you're sitting here doing something you could be doing or what you were doing in WWE here in AEW, and yet you're not doing that. I could understand her having this attitude of I just want to collect a paycheck if she was in WWE and they still didn't care about elevating the women's division. But this is a division that really could use her uplifting spirits, her desire to want to have an elevated women's division, and we're not getting that from her. The same exact Mercedes Monet that we got in WWE. It just seems like to me, she just doesn't care. It's a paycheck to her, and that's all there is to it. And she wants to be the center of attention, at least holding one of the two major titles in the women's division. And that's it. And that's all she cares about. She doesn't care about anyone else. She doesn't care about helping anyone improve based on what I've seen anyway. I'm not saying I'm not going personal with her, but I just don't see the same Mercedes Monet that we saw from WWE where she wanted improvement. She wanted the the women's division to flourish and get better and be on the level of the men, and right now, she's just nowhere near where she used to be about passion and care for the pro wrestling industry, in my personal opinion, just based on what I've seen. Because she doesn't seem like the same person she once was. Just my personal opinion. And uh, just from what I'm seeing, that seems to be the facts. It doesn't even seem to be my opinion. I'm saying it's my opinion because I could be wrong. I don't know her personally, but based on what I'm seeing objectively, I am seeing a woman that doesn't seem to care the same she used to. Plain and simple. It's just all I have to say on that subject. If things change, of course I can change my mind, say, hey, I was wrong, and and that move on. But honestly, I don't see any kind of improvement there with her. Uh what else happened on the show? I mean, I kind of discussed everything else. I discussed about the Hurt Business coming back, Bobby Lashley with Shelton Benjamin, Swerve Strickland winning the main event match, which again, I still feel that shouldn't have been the main event. I think the tag team title match should have been it. Christopher Daniels, here's another logic gap that made absolutely no fucking sense to me. What the hell they were doing here? Apparently, Christopher Daniels was upset that the EVPs, the Young Bucks, were walking away from AEW and wanting to work from home and screaming, "We need you here." Why would they need them there? Originally, when this whole invasion shit started on Tony Khan hired Christopher Daniels to be basically a commissioner in a sense. Not that he's a very good one anyway. He doesn't even really book any matches. He just seems to be there when chaos occurs and doesn't do much of anything else. Secondly, he's being basically like Tony Khan. He's not being a boss. Where the hell is where's a segment with Christopher Daniels asking for security, getting these guys from showing up into this arena? They need to be suspended. Something. Tony Khan doing it. Anyone, any upper level management should be doing a storyline suspension of the entire BCC being suspended for what they're doing. This is unprofessional. It's an unsafe work environment. It is not a place of work. It's a fucking chaos circus. That's all it is. And I don't like, as in real life, nothing is being done about it. No one's taking initiative. No one's being a boss. No one's saying, no, this cannot happen. And I know this is storyline, so I understand that. So don't come at me as if I'm a fucking retard or something, because I'm not. I understand that this is just a storyline. But if you want to take it in a real life setting, why wouldn't you be having someone show up and actually playing a boss role and enforcing laws and rules, or whatever way you want to call it, on the BCC to have them stop making it an unsafe work environment? Because clearly, in real life, if this was going on in any workplace, you could literally sue the fucking company for being an unsafe work environment, and they'd win in a courtroom. Now, I know it's a wrestling show. It's physical. It's not ballet. But here's the thing. Make sense. Take advantage of the opportunity, because in real life, this would not be going on. Straight up. But they're not doing that. They're just allowing this psychotic bullshit to continue with no higher level management doing anything about it, or at least trying to anyway. And we're just seeing people drop like flies. The Young Bucks are supposed to be those figures. They're not doing nothing about it. Hell, they didn't even step in to stop the BCC at one point, but they're playing heels, so that wouldn't have worked either. Now they lost to the fucking Private Party. They handed them the belt, showed them respect, and now apparently they're baby faces, but yet they're walking away from the fucking from the fucking whole situation. I don't quite get it. It's just complete and utter insanity. Matt 87 Eagle says they're just beating up jobbers from catering. Who cares? They're not making any sense, Matt. Really, they're not. This is absolutely asinine. Outside of the tag team title match, the first hour and 15 minutes was good, and the rest of the show was fucking shit. And I bet people would debate with me even the whole show itself. The first hour and 15 minutes may have said that the show is shit. And if you feel that way, that's fine. I mean, wouldn't blame you. There's nothing really going on with AEW that gets anyone super excited anymore. I just think that now that WWE is in a better place creatively, AEW is the afterthought. It's that simple. There's no need for two major companies, but the thing is, it makes it fun and entertaining to see new wrestlers show up on different promotions and them being able to jump ship to other places. It has competition, but if you have one show being creatively booked better while the other is just failing miserably, it's not even they're having, issues creatively or just, having bad days or something like that. They're consistently just not seeming to show a fucking bit of care in their creative booking decisions. Like I said, this match should have been the tag team title match should have been at a pay-per-view. This felt pay-per-view like, and yet we're getting this on free television instead of getting an actual build towards these two teams competing over the tag team titles and then having this newbie team win. Now, the problem with all this is that this tag team wasn't built up long enough to actually make a huge factor or dent in us believing that they should have beat the Young Bucks for the fucking tag team titles. They've been off television for 2-3 years now. They've been with Matt Hardy. They've been with the fucking, with the fucking, they've been pushed around to other factions and taken off of television that nobody knows who the fuck they are anymore. I mean, until recently when they started challenging for tag team titles. Who'd they beat leading up to this? Nobody. They ended up beating the tag team champions in non-title matches. That in itself is just plain fucking dumb. I absolutely hate shit like that. I don't like that kind of crap at all. But hey, it is what it is. Again, show wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Some of the people would debate that with me, and by all means, you have a reason to feel that way. What the AEW has been delivering lately has not been top-notch creative. They can do a lot better. I believe they can. They just don't give a shit. And personally, do I give a fuck? Not really. But I'm a fan of pro wrestling. I'm trying to be supportive of AEW. But man, it is getting harder and harder each and every week to do so. And it feels as if they are starting to insult my intelligence. Not to the point where they're laughing at their fans, but creatively, they're not making any fucking sense from time to time. That Wheeler Yuta segment where he's being sacrificed as if they're part of a fucking cult or some shit was downright fucking bizarre and made absolutely no sense to me. So that's just my viewpoint on it. I don't know what you guys think. But anyway, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.